Hi, my name is Mohammad Aleem, and today is 15th of June 2018, and the time here in India is 7:55 a.m. Now, there are many people who had asked me this question, and it's a very pet question, by the way, as to how to speak well, speak English well, and how to be more fluent. Well, there are many things, and there are many aspects that you got to consider, and I have tried to come up with a video which were to give you some tips and tricks in order to you become a good speaker in English and be more fluent as well. First of all, the very first thing that anybody has to have in himself or herself is the attitude. Now, do you really, you might ask me, Alim, do you really think that we need to have an attitude in order to learn a language? Well, the answer to that is not just any language. If you want to learn anything, if you want to do anything, if you want to achieve anything, if you want to be successful, attitude comes into picture. You might have seen videos, you might have read books which talks about attitude, which talks about people having talent, a lot of talent. For example, a cricketer, he might have had had a very good talent, a lot of talent in himself, but the person might not have outshined in the team and might not have become as famous as a few others who had very good attitude comparatively. And if you watch cricket and if you are a cricket fan, the example which is usually given is between the two friends, Sachin Tendulkar and Vinod Kambli. Yeah, they talk about attitude. They talk about attitude. The cricket commentators and the experts talk about their attitude, and it is the attitude of Sachin Tendulkar which fetched him so many landmarks, which fetched him so many records by his name. Right? Of course, the talent was there, but only with talent will you be able to do something or achieve or succeed something. No. Similarly, the same is with learning English. There are many people who want to learn English. There are many people who want to be as fluent as their favorite speakers would be. But at the end of the day, they don't want to do practice. They don't want to learn the functional grammar. And if their pronunciation is bad, they don't want to learn what exactly would help them to become good at pronunciation, and so on and so forth. Right? So attitude, you need to have that attitude. You can't say that, no, I don't have time. No, I'm working. No, I am working 16 to 18 hours in a day. You might be working. But at the end of the day, if you think that your English is really going to help you to climb the ladders of the hierarchy in your company, and English really, really helps you, not just if you are in your office, but also you can do many other wonders with English. You can prepare videos that just like I'm doing over here, and then many things come into picture. And in professional life, English would really really help you in manifold in many ways. Right. So first of all, you got to have a very good sense and a very good a positive attitude towards learning. You have to dedicate time. You have to spare time. People come go to the training institutes, people come to me as well, and I don't know what people feel. Probably they think that if they go to a particular trainer or a mentor, they would just do some miracle, and or they just give them a pill and they eat that and they'll become a very good and fluent speaker. No. How much do you think a trainer would be able to help you? A trainer would really be able to help you um, by max 30 or 40%. The remainder of the percentage on improving yourself in English would really, really depend on you. So it is you who's going to speak, right? I'm speaking here by myself. No one is coming here and putting words in my mouth. No one is telling me to from there, from the back of the back camera. No one is telling me, Alim, say like this, say like that. No, it's you who's going to do, and so it's you who's going to sweat, and it's you who would be, getting those fruits of all the hard work that you've done. So, firstly, very, very importantly, that you got to do is you have to have a very positive attitude. Secondly, um, secondly, you got to listen to speakers whom you admire and who are actually very good speakers. There are a few speakers, and again, this the notion behind preparing this video is not to any which ways, is not to con anybody, is not to speak ill or negative about anyone, but there are fan followers. There are a lot of fans of few people who may not be English trainers or speakers, but they really do not. The fans really do not focus much on the technical aspects of how the person is speaking. The person might be very good at English, but his tone might not be very good. So I want you to pick and choose those speakers who are very good at English, who are also very good at tone, who are very good in pronunciation, the sentence construction, and so on. Yeah, if you are, again, I would come to that same point of you being a cricket fan. If you're a cricket fan, you can listen to commentators like Harsha Bhogle. Ravi Shastri also speaks well. And if you are much into politics, Shashi Tharoor speaks good English, and so on. Yeah, so you can listen to these speakers. Okay, don't go with what exactly they are saying. Go with their English. Okay, see their intonation, see their pronunciation, see their grammar, sentence construction. Repeat them, whatever they are saying, and so on. That would really help you psychologically as well as technically in order to be a good speaker. Right, that would also help you to become more fluent. And then somebody asked me over here, Sami from Hyderabad has asked me, as well as Ravi, Sami, same names. I mean, rhyming names. They have asked me how to paraphrase. I'm sorry, construct in the sentences. Yeah. So as far as the phrasing of the sentence is concerned, you just got to be a little technical. Get into the little bit of technicality. I don't want you guys to become an read the grammar books and so on and so forth. I just want you to ensure that you know at least this. Take this as a takeaway from this video that I'm telling you. Learn the SVO concept. SVO concept is that concept which talks about the construction of sentences in English language. For example, SVO, S stands for subject, V stands for verb, and O stands for object. Yeah, so the subject should come first, then should come the verb in a sentence, and then there should be an object. For example, in small and very brief sentence, I would say, I ate apple. So I over here is the subject, it's a pronoun. The subject can be a noun or a pronoun, and a verb, and then an object. If you want to know more about SVO concept, you can just I would try to uh, give the link of that video which I have prepared, which talks about subject, verb, and object, or just know that subject is a verb, subject is a noun or a pronoun, which talks about, which comes at the initial part of the sentence, and that is actually the person who is being talked about. Yeah, for example, sun rises from the east. So what rises from the east? So here, sun is a noun. Sun is the thing which is performing an action in the sentence. So subject is the noun. It can be a noun or a pronoun which performs the action. Then there can be few words, and then there would be a verb, and then at the end there would be an object. Object can also be noun or a pronoun, but just comes as a supporting event, right? I ate an apple. So who ate the apple? Yeah. So I ate the apple. I am the performer of the action. I am the subject. Ate is the verb. Apple um, is the object. So learn this, understand this, that in active speech only. I'm not talking about the passive voice. I'm talking about the active voice. In active voice, the SVO concept comes into the picture, right? Whereas in Hindi, Arabic, Telugu, Kannada, and other Eastern languages, the concept would be different. The subject would come first, the object comes next, and then comes the verb. So understand in English, whenever you're speaking the active voice, subject comes first, then there can be few other words. I do not deny that. Then should be the verb, and then should be the object. This is the sequence. You should know that, and also try to learn and utter simple sentences. Simple sentences are exactly the ones which I've told you, which I've uttered. I ate apple. He is going to his house. Now, this is actually a compound sentence, but he is going to house. He is going to office. He is going to office. He is going to office. So here comes subject and then verb. Try to practice the simple sentences that would help you. And then once you are done with gaining a proficiency in using similar or short and easy sentences, then go on with the difficult ones. And these difficult ones are categorized in different ways. Technically, these are called as the compound and the complex sentences. Maybe in future, I might be coming up with a couple of videos or one video which would talk about the compound and the complex sentences. But just take a look at that on the net. And then the other aspect is I want you guys to read newspapers. Reading newspapers really help you in many ways. It would help you in gaining fluency. It will help you to construct your sentences well. That will give you a glimpse of how is that you got to speak, and then that would really improve your vocabulary. That really really helps you. If you go to any of the trainers, language trainers, they would often ask you to read newspapers or books which are quite easy to read and understand, right? And then I just want you guys to practice free speech. Now, what is a free speech? Now, free speech is you can take any one topic and you have to speak on that. Yeah, just speak on any given topic. For example, you might have a mobile phone in your hand. Okay, just like I have here with myself. Yeah, so look at it and see what is that you can do, see what is that you can talk about. Yeah, and then try to speak about your mobile phone for probably 5 minutes, 3 minutes. So initially you might just speak for 1 minute, hardly, and then you just got to focus more and more and more, and then try to figure out what else can you talk about your mobile phone, and then slowly you'll gain more confidence, and then you would tend to become more fluent and so on, right? And then while you also practice free speech, use simple sentences, use smaller sentences, and then later on you can go with compound and the complex sentences. And then once you get the fluency, you can speak lengthier sentences. And then use proverbs and phrasal verbs. For example, what is a phrasal verb? Phrasal verb would have at least two words. It would definitely have a word, and then there can be at least one preposition. For example, um, watch out. Watch out. Watch out actually doesn't mean you should go out of your house or you should go out of your office and then watch something. Watch out means to be a very, I mean, phrasal words do not have a literal translation or a literal meaning of it. uh, Phrasal verbs are actually, I mean, different words which can be different things. And I also want you guys to use proverbs and idioms when you, for example, once in a blue moon. Okay, it is, yeah, it is used in the Eastern languages and our languages as well. But once in a blue moon, what does it mean actually? So if someone tells you once in a blue moon, you must understand first of all, and secondly, if you use idioms and proverbs as well, that would really, really give a very good what do you call the polish to your English. Yeah, and then you can also go and get some expert advice. Tell what exactly is your problem to your mentor. If possible, take up few trainings, and then the ones from whom you're getting trained on, those people, those trainers must be very well. They should be well established. Ask for a few people who know good trainers in English. You can reach out to me as well if you wish to. I'm not preparing this video to sell myself, my services. This is just to help you. It might help me indirectly. I wouldn't deny that, but you can reach out to different. I'm not just telling that you reach out to me only, but I can say you're welcome if you wish to, and then you can, use the expert's advice in order to know where exactly you're facing the problem while you speak. Okay, there are a few people who have also asked about speaking, something related to speaking, but they have asked about the confidence. Now, confidence has got to do with your psychology. Firstly, if you think that you're not very confident while you speak English, figure out what's the root cause. Do the RCA. RCA stands for root cause analysis, usually used in the corporate world. Try to figure out, go into the depth, take a pen and a paper, try to figure out what exactly happens to you when you speak. Okay, why is that you are demotivating yourself? What exactly is happening? What exactly are you thinking when you speak English? Okay, so there can be many reasons. Few reasons can be you have the fear of mistakes. Okay, you are very anxious, you're very nervous. And the reply to this is, guys, whenever you speak a different language, especially if you speak in front of people, it is very, very common and it's very, very natural, and it is there in the human psychology to become nervous. Yeah. One of the greatest speakers, Barack Obama, he's supposed to be a very good speaker. Yeah. Even the greatest speakers of any language, Do you think they would not be nervous? They would be nervous. But if I just give you the example of the native speakers, then that I wouldn't be doing justice, because we are not the native speakers of English language. So obviously, first of all, English is our native, not our native language. It's a second language, and secondly, you might be fearing mistakes. So don't fear mistakes. If you practice well, giving time, as I told you at the initial part of the video, giving yourself time to upskill yourself would really, really help you in gaining more confidence. And as such, that would reduce your fear, makes you more confident, and then you would be more fluent, more confident, and then you would be able to elaborate your thoughts and convey that through words. Right. So don't think that others who speak English are not, afraid. There's no fear in them. There would be slight fear in each and in anybody, especially if you are appearing in front of a crowd and performing and speaking in front of people. All right. And then other thing about confidence level is uh, so what exactly happens when you are not very confident and when you're nervous? Either you would speak very fast, or you would speak very slowly. You would stop in between. You would not be very fluent. You would stop where you're not supposed to stop. Okay, and then you would lose your fluency. Yeah, so that is one of the causes. Just want to tell you what are the different causes. Probably that might help you to figure out what if this is actually happening with you. If that's happening with you, don't worry. Work on your English, and that would really, really help. And then one of the other reasons for being low at confidence level while you speak English is you might be comparing somebody, maybe a friend, or maybe somebody who speaks little better English than yourself. You might be comparing them with yourself. And then you might be thinking at the back of the mind, you might not be saying that verbally, okay, you might be uttering it out, but you might be thinking for sure in in your conscious mind that, oh man, the person sitting next to me, this guy, a friend of mine, he speaks really very well. So you might be comparing yourself, his tone, his accent, his pronunciation, his grammar. Somebody might have given him a very good a pat on his back and said, "Wow, good English." So you might be comparing. Nobody gave me a pat, man. So don't compare yourself with anybody else. You are yourself. Give yourself time, and a time would definitely come where people might pat you at your back and might say, "Man, you have a very good English." Right? So don't worry about that. As of now, don't compare yourself with anybody. Don't compare your English with anybody else's. And then finally, let me also talk about again about the confidence level itself. Final point is refrain. Be away from those people who mock your English. This is very, very important. This would really shut you down. You might be practicing, but a friend of mine might have gone, "You, man, made such a big mistake yesterday in front of girls, and you're now learning English." And they might laugh at you, right? So I'm not telling you to hide yourself when you learn English or when you practice. Be with them, but just do not take them very, too seriously. Secondly, be away from sort of elements. It can be your friends, it can be somebody else, might be very close to you in your family as well. So try to refrain from being with those or telling those people that you're practicing English, because there wouldn't be anybody else to help you to come up to that confidence level once again. And usually, what happens if the person stops practicing that stoppage, there would be a huge gap, and the people usually stop practicing once and for all until and unless they go to for an interview or they realize somehow or the other that they should have done a practice, right? So do not lose practice and do not be with those people who would mock your English, who would try to demotivate you when you practice English. All right, everybody makes mistake. Nobody here in on the face of this earth is perfect. All right, and then a few more tips on how is that you can be more fluent is. Practice makes perfect. Practice a lot. And avoid using foghorns and fillers. You must understand what is foghorn and what is a filler. Foghorns is usage of or the sounds like when you speak. At times, people use a lot of these sort of sounds when they speak. That really hinders your fluency. And then people also use a lot of fillers. Fillers are specific words which people use where it is not supposed to be used in a particular sentence. For example, if I say, people use the word, people use the word like, people use the word and. where it is not required, just to ensure that they do not give up a gap in between, right? So there are many instances wherein I've found people using foghorns and fillers. So please try not to use them. Become very, very conscious about you using foghorns and fillers. Initially, you give a gap. I'm not telling you to give a gap and be worse in fluency, but initially, in order to get rid of foghorns and fillers, give a gap and do not, use foghorns and fillers. Become very, very conscious. Or if somebody is really, really helpful, a very good friend of yours who would, really help you to during the practice, just tell them to make you very conscious by making a particular noise like this, something, or saying like this when you use a foghorn or a filler. That would really make you very conscious. As usually when you speak, you're not very conscious of what sort of mistakes you're making, or if you're using foghorns or filler or not. So take somebody's help if they are really helpful for you. Tell them to tell and prod you if you use foghorns and fillers. As of now, I mean, at the start, if you are practicing, do not use foghorns and fillers. It's better to give a gap than giving a foghorn and a filler. And then once you gain the fluency, you would not give the gaps as well. Yeah. And then also read books and newspapers. This is something that I would again say as far as the fluency goes. Read books aloud. When I say aloud, it should not be very loud as well. It should be the decibel level can be as much as you yourself listening to your own voice. You should be able to listen to your own voice. Do not shout. Do not surprise your family members by reading it very aloud. It is called as a recitation. Okay, when we say reading, it is generally considered as eye reading, but while I say read newspapers or books, it means reciting it, reading it to such a level that you will be able to listen to your own voice. Um, do that, and then that would really help you to catch fluency. And then listen to your favorite speakers, as I've mentioned. Few of the good Indian speakers are Harsha Bhogle, Ravi Shastri, Arundhati Roy, and then Harsha Bhogle I've already mentioned, Shashi Tharoor, and there might be a few more. I'm not able to remember or recollect their names, but there are many. You can also listen to the English news channels out of India. Okay, and guys, remember one more thing. I would not recommend as of now if you're really at scratch in terms of practicing English, I would not ask you guys to go and watch the BBC, those channels which would have accents. Okay, as of now, in this world of globalization where you can use neutral accent, you should not use any accent when you speak. This is what I feel. Even if you are migrating to any English speaking country like US or Canada, Australia, UK for studies or for migration, you need not talk like them, right? So you can speak in neutral accent where you are able to be understood by the native speakers. So what happens if people know that I'm an Indian, for example? Yeah, if I go to US and I say, "Hey, how are you doing?" If I talk like this, they would definitely look at me from head to toe and say, "Man," they will not say that probably, but they would definitely feel, "Man, you're an Indian. Why is that you're talking like us? We know that you speak differently." So as of now, accent is not required. Okay, you can learn accent in order to understand what the native speakers say and how is that they pronounce the words, but you need not actually grasp it and use that. Few sounds here and there, for example, the rare sound, especially like the American speaker, America, rocket, okay, Sylvester, right? So these sort of, if you use one or two sounds in your pronunciation, that's okay, but do not grasp and do not take any a particular accent when you speak. Right, so that's something that I would say. So as of now, I would not advise you guys to go and watch BBC or NBC or something. As of now, just watch the Indian news channels, which broadcast English news channels. Sorry, news in English language. Yeah, you can listen to those English speakers as well. They're not speakers actually. They might speak well as well. I wouldn't deny, but just listen to the news readers. All right, and then look at those sentence structures that they are using. Look at their tone, the way in which they are asking questions, the way in which they are responding to. Yeah, that would really, really help you. I hope this video was helpful for you. If you liked it, give a thumbs up. Please subscribe to our channel called Englishly. And then if you do not like this video, give a thumbs down and please comment and tell me how's that you felt this video was. Was this helpful? Was this not helpful to you? Please let me know. So next video or come online with you. See you. Bye bye and take care.